Hello, Sean.
Hello, Nathaniel.
I would normally be saying hello, Gwen. So I'll tell you what, from now on, for the rest of the night, you're Gwen.
Oh man, come on! I don't think I could transform into Gwen.
I don't know. You could try.
If I did that, I might be a skinwalker.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. So what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Wicked Wednesday. Tonight, as you can tell, Gwen is not here. She is actually just got back from Gettysburg and about to be leaving out for New Orleans for the New Orleans Paracon.
Yes,
So,
she is.
Sean, thank you so much for coming in tonight and doing the special guest co-host spot for me.
No problem. Anytime, my friend.
And so, how's your day, man? What's going on?
Oh, it's been nice today. It hasn't been 110. It's been about 83. It's nice and sunny out. Looking forward to
Nice.
the weekend. I'll be going to the Rock Island Arsenal and visiting quarters one for the first or third time. So I'm looking for that Friday night.
Awesome. And then Saturday, me and Morgan, we'll be over in Nashua, New Hampshire at the Spirit Seekers Expo. It's going to be a great event. Jeremy Carter from Twisted Tales is going to be there as well, promoting the network, promoting his podcast. It's going to be a great time, and we have a surprise lined up for those of you who are in attendance. Well, you'll still get to see it because I'm going to post it on TikTok. But we have a whole thing that myself, Jeremy, and James and Nito will be doing. It's gonna be a fun time.
Most definitely. I mean, it's always great when I get a chance to meet up with you guys. I met you at Broadhead a few times already,
Yep.
and looking forward to the next time.
Yep, and the person who was our guest tonight, I got to meet last year at the Maine Paranormal and Horror Convention. Let me tell you, this dude is all around a good dude. I enjoyed his company when we did get the chance to have conversations. He is not only an Army veteran, he's an actor, he's a producer, he's also a motivational speaker, and he's also the leader of the Hi-Ya Nation. I can't do the high pitch Hi-Ya like he can. If I try that, I'd fucking shatter my vocal cords. But but please welcome to the show. You may recognize him from The Walking Dead as Julio, Mr. Santiago Cirilla.
Hello.
See, I can't do that.
I think he's perfected that pretty good.
No, he
What's
has.
going on, man?
Yeah, not much, Santi. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for your service in the military.
Most
Um,
definitely.
my brother graduated from Fort Jackson, South Carolina. So, Army veteran. He did a tour in Iraq. He was also at the 9/11 cleanup site. So, I appreciate your service.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on the show, you guys. It's an honor. It's always an honor, man, to support small businesses, entrepreneurs, best way I can.
Yeah, and you put a lot of that stuff out on TikTok as well. Like I see you do TikTok lives, which we had a discussion about it, a small discussion. It's a whole different dynamic when you do a TikTok live compared to a Facebook live.
Right.
There's a whole different logistical linguistic aspect you have to take because you can't say certain things on TikTok or boom, you're banned.
You're just not telling me this. I just go on there and do just like I normally do.
That is fair. That's fair. So, the first thing I wanted to ask you, Santi, while we're starting everything off now. So 101st Airborne Infantry,
Yeah.
like that training had to have been difficult.
Yeah, man. Definition itself, the infantry kind of tells you what kind of job I had. But it's very physical. It's a lot of mind over matter kind of deal. And you constantly got to be on your feet, man, on your toes, and you're ready for anything. There's a lot of jobs in the military that require the infantry, and those that are not attached to the infantry. You know, you could serve a regular 9 to 5 job. I mean, in different hours, of course, but in the infantry, man, we're just constantly moving, dude. We take vacations. We'll get phone calls when we're 8 hours away, and we got to be back in by six or something. I mean, it's a whole different world.
Yeah, and from someone who wanted to join the military, like when I was in high school, I did 4 years of JROTC. I had a military scholarship to Norwich until I messed up my back. I wanted to do that, and I never had the opportunity. So that's why whenever I have an opportunity to have a veteran on, like, I always make sure to tell them that they are appreciated.
Yep.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man. My family's been doing this since World War II, bro. And we're just constantly, you know, trying to show the facts about what the military does, and we keep pushing forward, man, so people understand the different world of a civilian and a veteran.
Yeah, and so, by the way, if you've never seen it before, if you see me kind of tip my hat and salute, I'm saying hi to the people that join the chat. If we're talking, I try not to interrupt the guest.
Oh, good,
So,
good. What's up, everybody?
Yeah,
So,
we
thank you all.
actually have Jeremy Burton, Morgan Caldwell, Jeremy Cotter in the house so far.
Nice. So, Santi, let me ask you, man. Like, you in high school have always had this, I guess you want to call it a flair for the dramatic arts. You did several different dramatic arts programs in high school, correct?
Actually, one of the reasons I joined dramatic arts is because it was like staying away from the depression, staying away from the bullying. I lived in a home abusive dad. I was very poor. I got, jumped and beaten a lot here and there. And I stood around my nerds and geeks, man, people that just, we're always in discussion of talent, whether it's a musician, whether it's dramatic arts, whether it's painting, drawing, stuff like that. Those are people mostly that I got along with. It's high school, man, or junior high and middle school and even elementary school. I've been bullied pretty much through all my school years. And, to adapt I became the class clown and trying to get the attention of instead of the attention of getting bullied, the attention of laughter. But yeah, man, the stage called me and I worked on a lot of great stage performances and so forth. But yeah, it was fun, man. Never thought that I was going to do this for a living, bro.
So I can tell you that from someone who as well was bullied in school, I went the opposite route. I didn't do the class clown thing. I did the shutdown thing.
Right. Oh yeah.
The quiet, just stayed away from everybody, which to be honest with you is never a fun thing because you don't make many friends that way.
No, man, because you're in an empty space, and you just try to. I mean, people like that, and not saying it's you, but we start talking to ourselves. We create a whole different world. Whether you're goofing around with a collection of GI Joes or you're in a park walking around in circles and trying to think and talk to yourself.
Let me tell you, still to this day, I'll talk to my stuffed Mothman over here sometimes. I mean, he's great company. He's awesome. But so let me ask you, like, how did this whole transition work? Like, you had the flair for the arts, when you were in high school and middle school and stuff. Then you joined the Army and you served your time in the Army, and then you got out of the Army and went back. Like, what was that transition like? Like, how did that process work?
Man, it was just so when I was in college, I partied because I wasn't picked on. So I kind of knew people had to know me and knew people how to get with me. And so, but I partied too much where I lost all my money, my finances for college. And guarantee you, man, I was doing good. I was a freshman with a 4.0 plus, and but then I started getting into the whole partying and trying to get attention, and then I went in the military, and the reason I got in the military because I didn't have no money. I had no money at all, and I took a break, and I was in college, and a recruiter came up to me, and he was like, "Hey, can I get a light?" Because he was about to light a cigarette, and I was like, "Can I get a contract?" And I just needed to go away, man. I just literally needed to grow up, you can say.
That's fair.
And yeah, so, I never told anybody. My mom was tripping out. I actually found out when it came to pick me up. And it was a whole deal, man. Went to infantry school in Georgia, Fort Benning, Georgia, and, get the scare of your life where you're in basic training and you get orders to go overseas and deal with stuff and, a private. And did some things in the military, of course. And when I got out, a friend of mine was working for Gibson Guitars
Oh, that's
in Nashville.
about that.
And I was looking for a job when I got out. I mean, I never took leave. I was always stayed around. So, I had over 3 months of leave. They were trying to force me to take a vacation to leave. But I never did. I stayed around. And when I was getting out, a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, I can't handle the civilian life. I'm going to go back in." But I did tell Gibson about you. And instead of trying to find some job, they just switched up on us. And I
Right.
ended up working for Gibson and doing my thing in Gibson for about 3 years. That was a crazy process because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know how to adapt or whatever. But I did some good things where I started sanding guitars, preparing them for painting, and they had like a certain number that they had to do a week, and I was doing it like in almost 3 days by myself. So they kind of trying to tell me, you're not in the army, you got to adjust or whatever. I mean, come on. That's something that you don't tell somebody to do because anyway, but yeah, man, the last thing I known, I was making guitars for Kid Rock, Aerosmith, Lenny Kravitz, Keith Urban, Toby Keith. I mean, you name it. I was making guitars for Ace Frehley and everything,
That
all
is
the greats,
awesome. So
and
I've
literally
never,
building their guitar. It ain't just like you putting strings on it. No, I got a piece of wood, soldered the mechanical stuff, but drilling holes, putting the rods in, straighten the neck, do everything possible to make a piece of wood look like a guitar and play electronic guitars, you could say.
no, but that's cool because like I play Ibanez. I used to own an Ibanez. I play guitar, and I've always been fascinated with the process that goes into actually making one. So the fact that you have actually done that and you understand those inner workings is really cool to me. I actually had that for a later question in the show, so you kind of stole that one from me. But that's okay. You know what? Because either way, the show's going to fill itself in, right? Um,
I got a
so
question here, Nate.
yeah,
You said you were in high school and you were kind of bullied and stuff, and then you went to college and was doing a little partying. That transaction phase when you went into the military, mentally wise, how did you adapt to that? I mean, that
Hell
was a
no,
big
they
step.
they made me a man quick. I got in fights with the drill sergeant. One of them was a ranger, and kind of told me that it ain't your world, it's our world now, kind of deal. So I struggled a lot. They didn't want to kick me out because I was good in everything, man. Any weapon I picked up, I hit a bullseye, or as we call it, expert.
Mhm.
And they just saw something in me. When I was in the military, I ended up being a squad leader, a section leader. Um, and but getting out was kind of a forced thing. Got into a bad accident, got a lot of metal in me. Learned how to walk, learned how to get out. I was very depressed. But it's just like you're an expert on something and it takes away. It's just like basketball. You're a basketball player and then you got no legs. You got your knees get messed up and so forth. So that's pretty much what the infantry was about. And so I figured I'm going to do something when I get out. Didn't know how difficult it was, but to the point where I couldn't sleep well, and I ended up working 8-hour shift at Gibson and had about an hour and a half break and went to school at night to study law. And I ended up studying law and coming home at like at 3 in the morning. And my wife was pregnant at that time with my daughter. And it was just always keeping myself busy, always keeping myself busy because I just didn't know how to interact and whatsoever. But I ended up studying law, ended up running a law firm in Nashville,
that's
staying
awesome.
late night, and the acting bug kind of hit through an infomercial watching TV.
I mean, it
You know what?
definitely had to make you feel better knowing that somebody's seeing the potential you had when you were going through the military.
Yeah, man. It was like everything that they gave me to challenge, I exceeded. I went to pre-ranger school. I did a lot of pre-ranger stuff. I did the expert infantry badge, which is it's a whole different world. A lot of people don't never get it. People spend in the military 30 years and couldn't get it. And I got it like in my second year. Um, and then went through all the schools, all the air assault school, and just whatever they gave me, I just accomplished it. But I still had anger. I still had issues. I gained my rank and I lose my rank because I just started arguing. But I became much of a more disciplined person by the time I got out. I just didn't know how to use that disciplinary um, atmosphere with civilians. And I don't want to, separate people from humans and stuff, but it's just civilians. It's hard to explain when you're in the military. That's kind of the term that we use for ordinary people,
Right.
But yeah, it's a struggle, man. You trying to find your way, and your body is not used to that regular schedule, so you get pain whether it's physically or mentally,
Mhm.
and you try to find your way, and knock on wood, I didn't find my way through addiction or find my way into uh, um, something heavy, but I did find my way to a lot of suicide attempts. I did find my way into a lot of depression, and then it all built up because you think you're alone, and you find out your fellow people in your platoon and squad feel the same way, and you don't know it until you get that phone call that so and so killed himself, or so and so's in rehab, and so and so went back in and went into war and got killed. Or I mean, those things, it just adapt, because no matter who you grow up with and you live your life as a kid to a teenager to college life, you get in the military for minimum 3 years. I've been in for 8 or whatever. And it's like you get an immediate impact as a family. Um, Brothers of different race, different color, different lifestyle. You love them. You love them to the point where um, you would do anything for them.
Yeah, it instantly becomes like a family brotherhood is what it becomes.
Mhm.
Yeah, 100%. It ain't just the men, the women too,
Yes, yes.
because we work with different units and so forth. So.
So let me ask you, for those of us who are not aware, because we are not famous actors, uh, like when you go and you say you're auditioning for a show, right?
Right,
I assume there's a casting call, and
right.
then there's probably some kind of line reading things that have to happen. Like, what is that whole process like? And also a follow up to that, once you're done explaining that, what was it like when you got your first phone call for your first role?
So it's a business, man, and I learned the business just studying it, and found out. I've been in California. I've done the whole deal with that, but found out it's a business. So the tax breaks for filming kind of ended in California, New York, Chicago, and it all went to the South. At that time, after I did my school at night, and I did a little course for acting off an infomercial that was like at 11 o'clock at night at the law firm. I was like, I'm going to try it. Heck with it.
I would love to hear more about that infomercial later, by the way, because that's fascinating to me.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. I mean,
Thanks, Brian.
and I was making, I was doing a lot of work for, like I told you, man, you give me a task, I'm going to accomplish it. Well, this law firm, of course, was making money. I mean, I was a bilingual, I fresh with law. I was settling cases more than a lot of their attorneys that they hired. And, they buttered me up, give me a big office, little chump change raise, because I was saving them crazy amount of money. And then, long story short, it was a late day at work, and I was at the break room, and then I was like, God, what do you want me to do? And all of a sudden, there's an infomercial, a little ass TV that, in black and white, I think it was. And it's like, ever thought of being an actor? Would you like to do music? Hey, so I did it. I checked it out, did a little 2-year course, and test the waters out. Went out to a big audition to find an agent. Got picked up by Dakota Fanning's agent in L.A., Osbrink Agency. And then the laws and the money kind of changed and went to the South. And I found an agent in Tennessee, Dolly Parton's sister's agent, I think it was at that time.
Nice.
And I've been with them for over 20 years, man. And, my first call was, extra work. I did extra to learn the whole filming, didn't know what a director, producer, whatever their job was, And then it started moving around from doing extra work to commercials, to doing national commercials, global commercials, doing infomercials, videos, and then it got to Discovery Channel and started doing the reenactments and all that. And then I got you know, doing a small thing, but my biggest role was doing America's Most Wanted for Fox. Where I did the story about this guy and woman that was human trafficking kids and animals and putting them together, live together. It was a crazy sick story. Thank God they got caught a few years later, but that kind of opened up the deal with me. Traveling to, I think it was Missouri. I think I filmed it. I'm not sure. And dealing with that whole process with the U.S. Marshals, handprinting me and fingerprinting me, and I was like, "What's this for?" And it's like, because people watch these shows and think you're the actor's the real person, so we gotta have you on file. So you know, and I was like, "You telling me I could get jumped going to Walmart?" Yeah, so I had to, you know, go on the books with the U.S. Marshals, the FBI, all the whole deal, man. They had to background check me and everything. So, but yeah, did that deal, you know, through my agent, Talent Trek, and then little by little, man, it just, you get calls, hey, you got an audition, you know, it needs to be done at this time, and you get emails from your agent, and you follow through the auditions. Whether it was at that time before COVID, I show up personally, you know, and started kicking it, man, doing USA Network, Lifetime, Hallmark, the whole deal, you know. It's doing a miniseries for Fox, and get a phone call from my agent. It's like, oh my God, you're on The Walking Dead. And I'm going, The Walking what? What the hell is this show about? So, and then of course it just kept traveling more, man. And during that experience, you know, I started learning more of how to control my mindset to be more familiar or adapt more to civilian life. And you know, but at the same time, I was still depressed. I was still dealing with demons. I was still didn't have answers, and I needed. And you know, then that tragic period in my life came with, it was 5 years straight where I lost my grandparents, you know, back to back. I lost my dad like 2 years later. Then I lost my mom, and well, I lost my best friend of suicide. My military brother's suicide, and literally like a week later, I lose my mom, and I had to go to funerals after funerals, and just it was just built up too much, you know, and then I was in big field, my field back here, and I was talking to God, you know, doing my spiritual moment, and I was like, Lord, take this pain away, or I'm going to take it away. Instead of amen, hallelujah, I yelled Hayah, and at that moment, I was in peace. I had love. I could have changed the world. I could have cured cancer. I could have made people live till they're 1,000 years old. I mean, the whole deal, man. But I was in that moment of peace and love where I knew how to stop negativity. But I still was kind of emptying answers, and, you know, going through these conventions. I got introduced by Keith Age, who was doing a lot of ID channel stuff. And he was like, hey, your energy is ridiculous, dude. We need to put you in a paranormal investigations. I was like, para who? And they were like, paranormal. I was like, well, you mean like demons and shit? And they were like, no, it's the ghost stuff. I was like, okay, demons and shit. And he's like, no. But I ended up going to a house in Kentucky, and I tell this to everybody. I don't care who you are. Everything in Kentucky is fucking haunted. Every damn thing in Kentucky is haunted. I mean, you fucking blade of grass, haunted. You breathe the wrong way, you just inherited a spirit. I don't give a shit what people think. But ended up going to a house that had a crazy history. This guy grew up in it, and his mom and dad left it to him. And he went back, like it was like mid-'80s. He went back in there, you know, had to live in there. And then he ended up leaving because it just scared the shit out of him. And when we went back in there, a neighbor that was taking care of the house, we walked in there, and it was still the same way as the 80s, dude. I mean, he never came back. And it had like slave tunnels under it. But yeah, man. And I pretty much lit a lot of shit. The people were like flipping out because everything was going off. I was yelling hi-ya at 2 a.m. They started seeing stuff coming out of the walls. I mean, all this stuff is documented. You know, I never knew what evidence was. And And I never took it for celebrity. I always did it like, hey, we're doing an investigation. All right, don't tell nobody. I wasn't doing it for, attention. I just wanted to know this shit was pretty cool. Maybe it can answer some questions.
True.
And it started growing where people were like, dude, you need to freaking do investigations. You need to go da 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 da. And then, of course, it attracted a lot of people to the point where I got into bigger facilities, Rolling Hills Asylum and Old South Pittsburgh. And
Oh, I've never been to Old South Pittsburgh.
yeah, so I've been to a lot of places, man, and certainly turned heads, and I filmed a movie at good Lord, in Ohio, Poasttown Elementary School.
Okay, yep.
And I filmed a movie called Rosalie, and that had we had to take a break because people were getting thrown to a wall, scratches and shit.
Oh,
But,
wow.
yeah, it was, the owner had 3 staples in his head. Something flew off the wall and knocked him out. It didn't want me in there. I'll tell you that.
Hey, Nate, we need to have a joint investigation in that place.
Yeah, we filmed the movie, but it took some kind of like we literally stopped production and had some healers come in and cleanse and do all that stuff. So it was kind of crazy, but yeah.
So I gotta ask, whenever you've been doing these investigations, right? And I'm gonna go back to The Walking Dead here in just a moment because I do want to touch a little bit more on that. When you scream out "Hi-Yad," have you ever gotten a response like through
100%
or anything?
100% every time. Every time the voice boxes are yo "Hi-Yad" back.
That is amazing.
Yeah, dude, the whole time. And there's some different attachments of people that are around me. I had people that were looking for answers, and they lived in a whole different state, and they ended up talking to their brother, their sister, their mom in a whole different state because they were there doing an investigation, and it connected them from different states. And
That's
it connected
crazy.
them. Yeah, and this is all like, again, I don't keep evidence. I just let the investigators that do it for a long time or been there and definitely keep that evidence where they know that I'm not bullshitting. I don't play with that stuff, man. I let them know that that I'm for real in a different way. I never try to create a paranormal team or try to be involved and try to bring it to a celebrity status. So when I do paranormal investigations, dude, it's legit business. I don't look for any hype or anything.
Right, and I do the same thing, and I've been doing this for 20 years now, a little bit over 20 years. And I had one shot at fame, like way back, and I want to say it was like 2002. I was interviewed and accepted to be on Ghost Hunters Academy for the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, nice.
And ended up having to turn it down. My ex-wife was 6 months pregnant at the time, but they were like, well, we need you away for 9 months of filming. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to miss the birth of my child. So I turned it down. But that was my one shot at paranormal fame, if you want to call it that. But I still love what I do because it's always interesting. The people you meet, the experiences that you have when you're inside of these places, and you can talk to anybody else about it who has never been there, and they can look at you and be like, yeah, you're nuts. Well, you weren't there. You didn't experience what I did.
Exactly. But, you get people that think about it, man. It's so hard to explain, but just the deal where you hear people, you're messing with the devil, you're messing with this and that, and I don't want to interact with none of that stuff because it's a personal experience, and it's like how you use it in a level of professionalism and not trying to, you're not trying to connect with Annabelle and shit. That's the whole different thing about it.
Yo, I agree with you 100%. So backtracking a little bit back to you were casted on The Walking Dead as Julio.
Yeah.
So can you give us a little bit of that character's backstory for the people who have not seen The Walking Dead?
So what happened was I was filming a miniseries for Fox in Louisville, Kentucky. And Fox is owned by AMC. I don't know if it was the connection, me helping this director out through my agent, but I auditioned for this role in Kentucky, and they hired a friend of the director's. And my agent was like, I don't know why they didn't hire you. They should have. And like 2 days later, the people they hired kind of went on them, got a better deal. And they needed a replacement. And, the producer called me. It was like, we picked you first kind of deal. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm doing this gig. And then like 2 a.m, my agent calls me. It was like, oh, my God, "Oh my God, Santi, you're on The Walking Dead," and I'm going, "The Walking what?" And they're like, "No, you're The Walking Dead. Don't you know what it is?" I was like, "No, what the hell is it? It's about zombies. Zombies? Is it a comedy?" And they're like, "No, it's a serious show." I was like, "What?" I was like, the only thing I knew serious was like George Romero's, Night of the Living Dead. I didn't, even all the spin-offs, Dawn of the Dead and everything had some funny shit in it, and I didn't know it was like a serious fucking thing. So it was like, so it's kind of like I went from Louisville, stayed a couple days at the house, and then I had to go to Sonoma, Georgia, and the mystery of this freaking thing. One email was real, another email was fake. Having to, kind of get the codes in that so I could go to the studio, and I did the prison scene. Didn't know none of the actors. I thought Andrew Lincoln was security guard. I thought, the only one I knew was, Scott Wilson, because I used to watch him as a kid and in different movies. I was like, oh my God, you're Scott Wilson. And it was crazy because, it was I've been in big cost productions. I've been in a lot of big cost productions. But this one, dealing with horror, and, you're looking at these people in makeup, and one of them has their face blown off, and they look to you and they're smoking a cigarette, and it's like crazy shit, and then you deal with the prosthetics and all that stuff. It just amazed me. It was like a kid in a candy store because I grew up with all this stuff.
Right.
And so knowing the actors, and I didn't know who the hell they were. I'd get on this roll of motorcycles, and you'll get one of the people pass by. Hey, that's Daryl's bike. I was like, who the fuck is Daryl? It's like, who's that? And, and same thing I did with who else was I messing with? Oh yeah. So we were in this meeting, and they split everybody up. And all I did was like, we had to stay. They took a lot of people out because they were going to, they only kept the core group. Group A is pretty much what they do, or team, or first group. And all I did was go take a piss or something. And I came back, everybody's crying. And I'm going, what happened? Herschel's going to die. They're going to kill Herschel, man. And I'm like, who the fuck's Herschel? And I look, and then everybody was like, Scott, is that your character? This is like before we filmed the prison where we all got sick, and that's my whole deal. And then we got together. I celebrated Chandler Riggs' birthday. They had this cool machine gun cake, and I got to little by little know each individual that I worked with. Robert Kirkman, who created the show, just said hi to him, and kind of remembered me from that kind of spot to later on. His whole family pulls a red carpet premiere for Rosalie in Cynthiana, Kentucky, where The Walking Dead is actually based out of, and their family lives there. And they literally hooked us up with a red carpet and helped us out with a whole bunch of things. But the great part of it is that you got to experience movie magic works with horror, and all this great explosion, seeing this tower and the jail exploding, and seeing all these people going in 5 hours of makeup, and then seeing them like if their human face. Some of us just driving to a Wawa with a full of blood, like us. Long day on set. But it was great. I mean, I can't complain of it. I never knew. What's funny is I never knew what the show was about or anything. I wasn't permitted to watch the show even when I was at the hotel or whatever. So when I finally was done, and they told me you can't post anything, I post some stuff. Like, it was weird because I had like maybe 200 followers on social media, on Twitter or whatever, and all I did was Twitter. Like I was like, hey, doing this cool zombie show in Georgia. And people that I didn't know was that popular. Man, they called me up, and AMC was like, you need to take your post down, because I didn't know it was a big show, and I was doing one of the most iconic episodes with Herschel dying, and so I did. I just let it off, and then maybe a week later, Rolling Stone magazine and other publishing companies. That's my picture. That's me on this freaking billboard. And as my brother from Germany was calling me, hey, you're on a fucking billboard for Fox. And I was like, what? And then they had Fox in overseas, and they had it AMC in the United States. And I was like, hey, check this TV show I'm on, and here's me from 200 followers. It just started 2,000, 3,000. Everybody started going in, and it just took off, man. It literally took off. Very good blessing. I kind of was still going through some hardship in my mind, and kind of triggered something to do good to make me feel happy. So I created a company supporting mental health through arts and entertainment. I got more into the paranormal, got more into the horror, and then I'm doing directing, producing, writing. I wrote my own books, and it just kept me busy, man. Kept my mind completely going into full artist and entrepreneur mode.
Right. And the crazy thing, and I know what's exactly what you're talking about, not as far as a personally being there, but they were so secretive about that show. Every season, like very secretive.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I had seen stories online where someone would pull over Andrew Lincoln and say, "Hey, I'll let you out of this ticket if you tell me what's going to happen." Um, so can I ask you, like, the only person I knew from the show when I first started watching it, and that's just because I was a huge Boondock Saints fan, was Norman Reedus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What was it like working with the cast? As far as you coming in as kind of like, I don't want to call you a newcomer, but you were new to that genre as far as that acting style.
So
Were they accepting or?
no, dude, they were freaking awesome, man. I was contracted for like 6 episodes, I believe it was, and they only filmed with me for, man, I was there for a while, for almost a month and a half. But they only filmed the featured parts of it. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? Well, found out they were getting sued and everything. But everybody on cast was amazing, Andrew Lincoln and Norman Reedus. I got to meet Chandler Riggs' family, knowing about their personal life of music and so forth. I didn't know who none of them cats were. They got attention to me because I took a break and I started messing with the fake guns, the whole deal. And I was taking a 9mm apart and putting it back together, counting to like 8. I was so used to it, So I was in my zone going like this and just putting it together and doing all that. And I look up, there's the sound guy with the booth. It was like a commercial. He's the sound guy with the booth eating a sandwich, forever. All the actors around me like, oh my God, do that again. I'm going, what the hell? And ended up knowing me, asking me questions about the military and all that stuff. And it was pretty cool because I looked and there was one guy looking at me and he had like Herschel's head with all these wires coming down and he's going, like crazy eyes, like, with his head cut off. I mean, I got to see all of it, man. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, even the actors prepping, Scott Wilson to become Herschel, it took him for a few minutes because when they were ready to film him, and he knew his cue, he had a burp. He burps every time. That's how he became Herschel. He was like, lights up, camera, sound, and all you hear is burp. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a freaking great. And he became Herschel. For Andrew Lincoln, he was always cussing at himself. And he's like, he killed my wife and my son. And all of a sudden, his British accent turned to this horrifying country accent. And you're like, oh my God, this is pretty cool shit. You're just like me. I'm just, Santiago, you're getting paid to play Julio. I'll do it, whatever.
Yeah, and when you hear Andrew Lincoln speak on the show, you would never think he was British.
100%. And they weren't the only ones. Lauren, met Lauren, and she was such a sweet woman, and was always thanking me and everything. And and of course, you have your extras, you have your main cast, but I was with the main cast the whole time, so it was like I didn't know who the governor's men were until I was like, who's the dude with the patch? Like people were upset at me on set because I never watched the show and I got on the show. And I'm like, I'm a working actor, dude. I think I hired on it. I was like, oh, you never saw it? Oh my God. See, and they started talking about the seasons, all these names, and I'm going, okay, what the fuck? I don't know this shit. I don't fucking know.
I love that. So, holy shit, we've already killed almost like we got 20 minutes left. Holy shit, this is going fast. Sorry. Switching gears a little bit because I did want to touch on this because I think it's kind of fascinating. The Nephilim Chronicles.
Yeah,
So,
half human, half angel.
yeah. So this was was it a movie production or a series?
It was a series, a TV show, man. It's literally like I think a lot of it was, I call it like the original Supernatural. That's how before Supernatural was even out, we had this.
And that's what I kind of felt like when I read the description.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that 100%. And you guys filmed the pilot and all that.
Yep.
And this show actually won 4 independent awards.
Mm-hmm. In different states. And it's just, let's just say the creative people and stuff started breaking up, producer, writers, directors, and no one really had the claim of fame. I have a copy of it, but I'm not allowed to show it. It's still today. They won't let me show it, but it's really good. I mean, I loved it. The whole deal with the whole realm, and with what's the first Eve? It wasn't Eve. What's her name? Oh my God, Lilith. It was Lilith. The whole bad person in the first season was Lilith.
See, that is so. I wish that was something that could be released because I would so love to see that.
Oh man,
do you ever think it will get released? Do you think it'll come to?
I don't know. I want to check and see, but I actually wanted to buy it out, man, and try to redo it. I think it still has legs. It's just because it's all researched by one person who, for years, this person was researching the whole Nephilim and all that stuff, and he was putting every detail into the episode, and I was like, dude, how can you remember this? And he started telling me, I was like, oh my God, save it for the season. God dang, this is a lot of shit.
It definitely sounds like something I would watch because I do like shows like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Go ahead.
It's like they had on a birthmark. My birthmark, it was a tattoo that came alive. It's really cool shit.
I would see that is something I would definitely watch. So shifting gears from that, I'm trying to kind of speed up my process here because we killed so much time and I was not prepared for it. So the last thing filming wise I want to touch on real quick is Slappo the Clown.
Yeah, Clown in the Cabin by Cult Cinema.
Yeah. So what was it like filming that?
Dude, it was great. I never got to do. I play bad guys. There's a lot of movies that'll be out. Some are now streaming, but playing a clown and being in a whole different character where I get to count bodies like Jason and Freddy. But filmed it in Texas. Cult Cinema LLC, getting very popular, man. They remind me of the whole beginning of Blumhouse, beginning of A24. They're in that direction, and I got to work with Honky Tonk Man.
Yes, I was going to ask about that.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's like a circus, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre family, but in a circus. And instead of Leatherface, they got Slappo, and everybody knows about Slappo. And no one really thought that he was who he was. But yeah, man, I get to cut up a lot of people, and I get to even kill other clowns and shit.
See, that is
so
awesome.
It's in post-production, so it won't be out till probably next year.
Yeah, I feel like I had seen a picture somewhere of you standing next to the Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah.
And I
got to. They didn't hide the pictures or anything, but we're starting to get the action figure thing. He's going.
Oh, cool.
I need one of those.
Yeah.
But no, when I saw the picture, I was like, Honky Tonk, that can't be the Honk. Didn't he die like 5 years ago?
He's still alive. He's still alive and well, man. He's still alive and well. He's a great dude.
I seen him actually about 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago up at the Quad City Con.
Yeah, he does conventions.
Well, see, I didn't know. I saw him in that photo, and I'm like, I thought he died. So there you go. But no, it seems like such an interesting concept for a movie, and I kind of feel like it's a role that you've not per se had to take on before. And
no, man, it's totally different. Like I said, I got a movie coming out with Felissa Rose, called Deadly Endings. It's like Creep Show meets Twilight Zone, and I play a
Ooh.
very, very bad, almost like Al Pacino on Scarface kind of character.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's the lead character, but it's a mixture of Creep Show and Twilight Zone with a little bit of Reanimator. That's all I can tell you about it.
Oh, you
I
gotta
will
check
love
that
that. I will absolutely love that. And I will tell you right now, hard take. People, you can hate my opinion. I don't give a shit. I hate Scarface. Fuck it. But that's just my hard take. Because I can't stand the movie. I thought it was horrible. I didn't like it. Not my style. But I want to touch on your work as an author. You wrote a book called A
Yeah.
Veteran's Homecoming.
Yeah.
So is that your story personally?
No, man. So here's the thing. I've been an author off and on. I got a good book series called Zombified with my good friend Kendra Souter, which we made a TV show coming soon called Back from the Dead. But I work on everything with mental health awareness. So what I write doesn't have cuss words or nudity on it. I took a character, my good friend Daniel at the time, Daniel Castaneda, was dealing with some hardship, mental issues. I was dealing with the same. We had a couple friends of ours in our platoon committed suicide. Met a few people that we worked with in a unit, and I just took all their lives and put it into one character.
Interesting.
And I created some of the stuff in there is kind of real. It's just been switched a lot because we can't put the whole experience in there. So, but I wanted to keep it in there along with some hope. And so it's like I always tell people, it's like a Highway to Heaven meets It's a Wonderful Life, and it's a Hallmark kind of faith-based kind of, open eye kind of story. And it tells a story of a veteran who just shuns himself. Something happens in his life and he just shuns himself for the world. And he's not poor. He just needs to be away from society. And he ends up volunteering himself to be homeless. And he just needs to know, why is he alive? Why does he need to live this life? And he bumps into different people that kind of inspire him and so forth. And I mean, the whole thing is to let people know that, number one, dealing with depression and PTSD and a lot of negativity, bullying, addiction, you're not alone. You're not alone. Speak out and you will see the circle of life come to you. And that's one reason I have the Hi-Ya Nation and Nation Entertainment and helping other people that are in that same boat and giving them opportunities, whether they're survivors of addiction or alcoholism or whatever. They still have a room in the house at the Hi-Ya Nation to experience the unity of people, whether it's at Paranormal, man. I love going to Gettysburg. It's a unity family thing. I love going to Comic-Cons. I created my own show. The Scared City presents the Hi-Ya Nation horror show in Paragould, and we're doing that for the 4th year next week.
August
And we bring
7th
in
through 9th.
August 7th through the 9th. And I bring in my friends, people that give me a discount, that are actors and celebrities. And, then I bring in people who help me build this company because I can't do this alone. And we have my friends out there, and I know some of them, you put up their comments, Jada and Jenny and Rick and Scott and all these great people that helped me and followed me and gave me an opportunity to enter their hearts and let me show them my love that I have, and builds a motivation for everything I do, man. So I write a book, express it, hopefully be a movie. I do TV shows and movies and try to invite those survivors along with veterans. People was like, man, I never acted in my life, but I always want to act. Okay, let me train you and come on. I got another anti-bullying movie coming out next month called Heartbeat of a Drum Horse. The story got to me through a simple email from networking. And we raised over $100,000 and we filmed a movie about a woman who was following her dreams, but she was being bullied. And we get to tell it globally now, along with the movie I'm doing in Kentucky, a mental health awareness movie, Go Your Own Way. And we're going to continue to do things, whether it's a family movie, horror movies, live events, concerts, we got things going on, but the whole message is your life is worth living. You live life, you follow
Yes.
your dreams, and you always be you.
Absolutely, 1,000%. 1,000%. So I want to circle back real quick because right now these are going out the window. Um, so I want to
Should
circle
have had a
back real
2-hour
quick.
show.
Yeah, it's only an hour show, but I want to circle back to the Hiya Nation Horror Show. Can you tell everyone where these proceeds are going?
Well, see, the whole deal is Nation Entertainment. We gather money and we go and do different things. We use that money to either do shows at a VFW, do shows at a school, do shows at a rehab center, and it pays for it because we don't take money from that, including the money that I make from my movies and make from other conventions. I put it in one actual account, and I've actually created, like Back from the Dead. I hired kids that were bullied, kids that had their suicide plan. I brought in people that were survivors that got out of rehab, and I treat them like kings and queens. I pay their hotel, I pay their travel, I give them a role to play, a speaking role. I help them get involved in the whole backstage behind the camera. I put them on live events. I treat them like stars. I brought in a young lady that was bullied and wanted to raise money for a field trip for music. And I brought her to my horror show last year and gave her a table and labeled her as a guest, a celebrity guest. You know, it's almost like turning people's dreams to come true. And also we give out to different nonprofit organizations to help them out. To raise money for schools, help kids get lunches, give people an opportunity to take a convention where people get to speak to them with their fellow nerds and geeks instead of going to a conference where it's just millions of people sitting down and one person speaking. So it goes to a lot. I do not get any money out of it. I don't get paid for it. I don't make any money. It literally, it's a conveyor belt around that continues to flourish around different organizations, different nonprofits, helps build brands with other brands.
I can tell you from, and I've never been ashamed of my depression. I know I deal with it. I still, in my lunchbox downstairs, have a letter that I wrote to my son when I had already planned my suicide like 3 years ago. Luckily, I'm still here. So that is what it is. But can I ask you, when you're doing this event, are you guys doing like a raffle basket or anything?
Yep, we do raffle baskets. We do auctions. But you know, a lot of my merchandise that I get, especially with the money that I receive from these organizations or from these things I do, I give a lot of shit for free. You know,
So,
I did it to a school that had a shooting. One of the famous, well, I don't want to say famous schools, but one of these schools in Kentucky, they had shootings. I went out there and, man, I was just giving everything out and, you know, talking to these kids and people that just witnessed their friends getting killed in front of them. And, you know, that's the whole deal, man.
so
That's the deal.
if I wanted to contribute a copy of my book to the raffle basket for you guys that you guys are doing for that event, how would I do
100%,
that?
man. 100%. Reach out to me, dude. I'll send you where you can mail it.
Awesome, yeah, because I would love to do that. I have available copies right now that I could sign out and have in the mail tomorrow. So
Sweet, man. Well, definitely, I'll get you, send you to my contacts, man.
yeah, that would be awesome. So I see we got 5 minutes left. Santi, where can people find you? Where can they find the Hiya Nation? And also we need a nice, really good Hiya, like with the intro, like we did earlier.
So, real quick, I know there's a lot of people viewing that's probably for the first time, and there's a lot of people that are viewing that know me. And this is not the energy level they're used to. I woke up very depressed today. I woke up to the point where I had to call my counselor and call my doctor and set an appointment up tomorrow. Just the reason why is to show that we're not bulletproof.
No.
But I have no shame in saying what I have that's going in my mind, because this is what I do. You know, I'm not going to be happy all the time. And I want people to know you're not going to be happy all the time. But the great part is you seek help. You seek people that's in a circle that understands you and believes in you and trusts you and helps you without pointing fingers, without judging you or discriminating you. But you guys can reach me out at nationentertainment.org, nationentertainment.org. I'm all over social media, man. The TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook. I got a lot of pages out there I personally run. But you can reach out to me, man. Through my website. You can reach out to me through social media. You can reach out to me if you see me at these conventions. Not just this convention. I'm doing my own Haya Nation convention with like live wrestling and a whole bunch of crazy things. But I'm also going to be out in different tours. The Underworld convention, Maine Paranormal and the Horror convention. They invited me back there. Hell House convention. There's so many different shows I'm going to be at, man, and I would love to see you guys there, man.
And the Maine Paranormal and Horror Convention, I have prior obligations, so I won't be able to make that this year. But I can tell you from my time there last year, absolutely amazing event.
100%.
And I would tell you that if you're going to attend any event, well, unless it's the one you're coming to see me at, but if you go to any other event that weekend, that's the event to be at. 150%. So Santi, I typically end my podcast with 3 questions that I ask everyone.
All right.
I'm going to modify it for you because you're an actor. So here we go. You have one actor that you've never acted with, but you would love to do a side-by-side scene. Harrison Ford. Okay. You have one filming location that you've never been to. Any country. What's
Any
your filming
country?
location?
I would say Italy.
Italy. I like it. So you got Harrison Ford. You guys are doing a movie in Italy. Who do you want directing said movie?
Who do I want directed? George Lucas.
Oh, that would be an interesting movie.
I'm an 80s dude, man. I was born in 73. I love the classics, the old school.
Who
I
would you
be
pick?
here for that. Harrison Ford, Santi, and Italy. I would be here for that.
Well, let's add one more here, Nathan. Who would you be your female co-host in that movie?
My female co-host. That's I don't know, man. That's a good question. I don't know. Can't think of anybody right now.
That's fair. That's fair.
If I would say anything, is probably one of the women that I worked with in some of my movies, independent, because I knew how the hustle is. Really, it's not celebrity stuff. It's just love.
Right.
Yes, push your stuff. Where can people get your books?
Man, Amazon, buddy. Amazon, I got some copies. If you guys want autographed copies, you can check out A Veteran's Homecoming. Check out my book, Zombified. You guys got to check out Back from the Dead, a TV show you, the viewers, control. Like, choose your own adventure.
Dude, there was so much we didn't get a chance to touch on. I had all this in my notes. But look, I would definitely be reaching out to you for a copy of Veterans Homecoming because I want to purchase one. I definitely want a signed copy.
Yeah, man, 100%.
100%. But Santi, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and spending an hour with us. I really do appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind hanging out in the background for just like 3 or 4 more minutes, I have a question that I ask in the post show to every guest. Okay. And we got one more ad to run. Me and Sean are going to close out the show, and we'll be right back.
Hiya!
I got one more thing to add here.
Hiya! Oh, yeah. You see, I can't do it.
I got one more thing here to add, Nate. Keep up the great work.
Yes.
You're here for a reason, and it's definitely making an impact with everybody as well.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much, Sean.
So, have a nice night.
And Santi, we will see you in just a moment.
Hiya.
That was an awesome show.
Yeah, definitely. He is very interesting. He's very motivated, as in the fact he knows what he's talking about. He's been through a lot in his life, and he is making an impact with a lot of people. And it's for the good.
I knew when I booked this show, I obviously wanted to talk about his acting career, and we wanted to talk about the mental health thing. It took, like, the time flew. Like, I looked up and I see we're at 40 minutes, and I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, we might need a party 2 or 3. We might.
Hey, we can make that happen,
He was an absolutely amazing guest, always a professional. Guys, be sure to go to Amazon, get a copy of A Veteran's Homecoming. I know a lot of his stuff. It streams on different platforms. Obviously, the Nephilim Chronicles do not. But go and check out The Walking Dead. See Julio. Let me tell you, that was probably, I'm going to say, in my top 5 favorite shows that I've done since I've started the show.
Yeah, it's definitely was one of the best ones I've seen for the time that you've been in. And like I said, this guy, you know, he's making an impact on people's lives. He's doing an amazing job. And I got to give him credit for that. And, you know, keep up the great work.
Absolutely. And guys, be sure after my show to stay tuned for the last block of Wicked Wednesday as Jeremy Cotter welcomes on, I believe it's Anthony Seminelli.
Yep. We'll be backstage for that one as well.
And that is going to be an awesome show, guys. Please stay tuned for that. That comes on 9:30 p.m. EST. And this was the Paranormal Unveiled here on Wicked Wednesdays. I will see you all next week. Same spooky time, same spooky network. I've not switched my calendar yet, so I can't tell you who the fuck my guest is next week. But you'll know shortly. But I will see y'all next week.
Have a great night, everyone.
Have a great night.